I'm crying again. But I just saw this girl, and she's in Flora, Illinois, and she's protesting by herself, and the police said that she's not allowed to move or chant. But there's people yelling at her and cursing at her in front of children and saying things like "fuck Black Lives Matter" to her face. And she's still there. This is what it's time for. This means so much. She's one person. She got one sign, and it's not even colorful or whatever. And she's saying so much. She cares. People don't care. We've gone so long with nobody caring about us and people telling us what we go through is made up to our face, and then they laugh at us for the things that they do. And she's here just making a difference. The world is changing. This is
Soldiers of color are treated poorly. As a woman and person of color, I was harassed and threatened while in the military. People are upset because I'm speaking out in an incomplete uniform. I've even been accused of lying about my service. For service in Afghanistan. Even after service, when I've shared my trauma with the VA, I was treated as if I was lying for compensation. While I'm crying out for a nation to see me and my contribution, people are more concerned with the look of my clothes than my life. I care about the freedom that the uniform represents, not that every piece is perfectly in place. There's injustice in the military.
The body of 19-year-old Lavina Johnson was found in a tent in Iraq. She had a broken nose, loose teeth, burns on her genitals, and a black eye. There were teeth marks and scratch marks on her upper body. Her back and right hand had been set on fire. There was a gunshot wound in the left side of her head. Keep in mind that she was roughly 5'1" and 100 pounds. The Department of Defense ruled her death a suicide.
This land is supposed to be mine too. You stole me from my shit. Where from, I have no clue. Stripped me of my native tongue and rewrote my identity. And then had me call Cassidy to sell it back on 23andMe. How are you entitled to my shit? You stole me from me, and to get me back, you want a deposit? And you can't see the privilege in being able to do such? We peacefully asked for equality. We didn't ask you to do much. We asked, could we live in peace? And we were met with Ku Klux. So as we politely burn this shit down, this is the part where you hush. George Floyd, Sean Bell, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland were killed in cold blood with no weapons in their hands. So understand that we're staying. The revolution is here, and we don't give a fuck about your unseasoned tears. So you can stand up and protest with us for what's right, or you will watch this city go up and down in bright lights. You convinced us we were weak. We're about to show you how tough. America hell hath no fury compared to motherfuckers like us. Look what you did.
So, I made a TikTok talking about how the man who lives in the White House said that it's now okay for anybody who lives in America to exercise their Second Amendment right to for stopping these protests, and I'm apparently not allowed to say the 3K word, I guess, or talk about how people want to unalive me because the Triple K hands out their flyers at my local grocery store. So I thought I'd clean that up for the kids.
y'all. The LAPD is having a live stream on YouTube right now, and I just need y'all to listen to this.
Great. First things first, Chief Moore, you gotta do a better job of pretending you care about this, man. I've been watching you roll your eyes and offer half-hearted smirks, acting like a teenager who's falling asleep in detention. Are you not aware of the war crimes your department's doing, or are you just that impatient to go do more of them? I see a lot of you, particularly sober off, only react when folks use profanity in their remarks. If you think curse words are bad, wait until you hear about these 600 plus murders your department has committed over the last 7 years. As long as Moore's out here equating peaceful protesters with cops who murder black people, you all could pretend to be as angry about murder as the F word. Okay, kids? I know you're all having a rough day. What with everyone here telling you you're bad at your jobs. Have you considered being good at your jobs? If not, you could find new jobs in retail or restaurants. I know how desperate Garcetti is to get Angelinos consuming again during a global pandemic. Where were the curfews then?
please stop scrolling because you can save a life. I've seen so many TikToks about what to do with tear gas and none on how to stop bleeding. I'm a New York State EMT. I'm going to teach you how to make a tourniquet. There's 3 parts to a tourniquet. You need some sort of cloth. I'm using a bandana. Some sort of stick. I'm using a pen. They're not ideal. And something to secure it with. I'm showing you with a key ring. Wrap the bandana so it's 2 fingers wide and slide the key ring through it. All right, now say your bleeding is right here. You want to go one hand above the bleeding. Tie it once. Put your stick in. Tie it again. And then twist the stick until you cannot feel a pulse at the base of the limb. At this point, you want to take the key ring and slide it over the stick so it doesn't move. A couple more super important things to keep in mind. First, do not use wire, cable, anything too thin. Those can cause nerve damage. They can cut into the skin and cause even more bleeding. Second, seek medical attention as soon as possible. Do not remove this yourself. There's a special way to do it to make sure that there's not that much damage. So if you pause it here, I'll put some other materials you can use. Please like, comment, and do the share copy link thing so as many people as possible can see this. And please stay safe out there.
Ooh, this is my favorite argument to rebuttal. I'm gonna get your stupid ass. Alright, you big dummy. Let's use yet another analogy. Ignore the cord, my phone was dying, and to all the Ben Shapiro dick riders, you might want to block me right now. You're gonna hate this one. Let's say you have a bag of 85 marbles, right? 85? 85. Let's go. 85. 72 of those marbles are blue, and 13 of those marbles are red. If I tell you to pull out 20 marbles, and half of those marbles are red, you were looking for those. Don't act special. Take that analogy and apply it to the number of black people incarcerated in our prison systems. There's no way you're gonna sit here and tell me that the police don't put a target on our back when we make up that 13% of the population and almost 50% of the population in prisons. That just doesn't make sense. Another thing, I prefer my followers to be a bunch of open-minded and smart people. So if you wanna laugh at my goofy jokes and all that shit, but you wanna turn your head whenever I'm spitting facts like this, unfollow me, block me.
Black people who keep on getting shot and killed for no good fucking reason. And I, as a white fucking female, am fucking pissed about it.
Alexa, what is America 2.0?
America 2.0 is a revolutionary system of government created in 2019 by Marcus Sykes aka Black Jesus the Antichrist. It is an upgrade to the current system of democracy in America that decentralizes representative government. In this system, American citizens vote for policies through an encrypted social government site similar to Facebook where all accounts are constitutionally protected. So by law, government officials and citizens can only access the account they own. It ensures the privacy of all citizens and protects their voting rights and privileges while enhancing the speed and accuracy of the voting system. Also, it enhances the efficiency of the voting process and expands voter comprehension and capabilities. In this system, the people are the federal bank, meaning all taxes paid by a citizen is controlled by that citizen.
We're sorry, your call cannot be called.
Martin County Sheriff's Department.
Hi, I need to report an assault.
Okay, where did it occur at?
Standing Rock. There are innocent, unarmed people being attacked with water and militia-style police firing at point-blank range with high-powered mace on unarmed people. Who protects the people?
Ma'am, yeah, if there's police there, then it has
The police are the ones attacking innocent, unarmed people. So what do we do to stop the police literally hitting people at point-blank range in the face? People can lose eyes. People are going to get hypothermia. People could die. We have elders here. We have children here. We have all ages here. Nobody is armed except for the police. Who protects the people from the police?
Oh, was this not the apocalypse you dreamed of? The one that you were looking for? Perhaps you thought we'd fall by zombie or plague. I hate to break it to you, but the apocalypse is here. Except the villains are your fathers, your grandfathers, your friends, your president. I thought you said you wanted to be the main character. Well, now's your time to shine. Or was this not the story you intended? The one you wanted written? Unfortunately, there is no plot armor here.
So it has come to my attention that another innocent black life has been taken away from the police. Literally happened today. And it's not on mainstream news. I found out because someone commented it in my comment section. This was Regis Paquette. She was 29 years old, and she was suffering from a seizure. Her family said that her seizures could get really out of hand, so they decided to call the police. There were 8 officers who came to the building, and as soon as they arrived, they threw Regis's family into the hallway. Regis and her family lived in a 24-story building. They lived at the top. Regis was on her balcony. She was crying for help. Her family, who was still in the hallway, could hear her, and they were literally trying to get in, but they couldn't. And that's when the officers pushed her off her own balcony, killing her. And now they're trying to cover it up and say it was a suicide. Something that her neighbor said that she would never do. I'm disgusted. Justice for Regis.
Hey guys, so I know that a lot of you have been supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, and I know that a lot of you supported the Blackout Tuesday movement, and I just wanted to say thank you. I know that a lot of you are tired and exhausted by now, but I just wanted to come on here to say that if you're already tired and exhausted, well, buckle up your seatbelts, because once we're done with the Black Lives Matter movement, we're coming over here to make sure that the LGBTQ plus community is treated fairly. And once we're done there, we're gonna come over here and make sure that our Muslim brothers and sisters aren't treated like terrorists. And once we're done here, we're gonna come back over here and make sure that the Latino and Latina community is treated fairly as well. And once we're done here, we're gonna come back over here and make sure that our Indigenous brothers and sisters are treated fairly. And once we're done there, we're gonna come back over here and go down the list and make sure that everybody is treated fairly. All of this to say that if you're already tired, that Starbucks you're having every morning, you may want to add a shot of espresso and have another one.
This video is extremely important, so please keep watching. Please do whatever you can to share this message because everybody needs to hear this that lives in the United States. Today in Donald Trump's speech, he threatened to completely militarize the country if governors do not comply to bringing the National Guard into their state. If worse comes to worse, this would literally be him declaring martial law. If you don't know what martial law is, put on your seatbelts. Although this has not happened yet, martial law is when the president can literally take civil rights away from the people of the United States. It would also mean that the military is coming into all cities to control the people. It also means that every single branch of the government no longer has control of the people, only the president does. This would be directly impacting me, you, anybody on the right. Every single person in the United States would be drastically affected by this. Martial law would literally take away our right to free speech, which is exactly what conservatives and people on the left fight for every single day. If you are conservative and you are watching this and being completely okay with this, I need to ask you a question. Are you siding with Trump because it fits your moral compass? Or are you siding with him because he's a Republican? This no longer is about right and left or who you support. This is about fighting for the common good of the population of the United States. Do not support Donald Trump.
Tanse, gisa manatao, and neneskamau, ihi. The hoop dance is a healing dance. And today I wanted to dance for all those who are feeling despair and for those who are in need of healing. It represents unity and strength if we stand beside each other. I was taught that some of us may have different beliefs, some of us may look different, some of us may be from different tribes, but we all share a common tribe, which is the two-legged tribe, and the only way we're going to move forward is by supporting each other and by loving one another. Please support our brothers and sisters who are in need during this time. Hi, hi.
I'm gonna talk about this photo from Portland, Oregon right now, and you're gonna fucking listen. Because the Portland, Oregon police force let a white supremacist group that calls themselves the Proud Boys peacefully protest less than a year ago. They gave them protection, they gave them a place to stand, they gave them a voice. Now, hours if not minutes after this photo was taken, they tear gassed these same protesters. They shot rubber bullets at them and they're not letting them have a peaceful protest, yet they can let a white supremacist group have one. Now, even more, the day after this was taken, last night, the Proud Boys were back. The police did nothing. This white supremacist group came to Portland, Oregon to agitate protesters, and there's no news coverage. No one is talking about it. No one is talking about how this police bureau fully supports white supremacy and then hurts people protesting for Black lives. And I just, please share if you can.
This is the 16th time I'm trying to fit this in a minute. Folded is an acronym for activism that I created and we should follow. Fluidity is about having a multi-tiered approach, meaning yes, some people are going to be willing to protest in the streets, some are not going to be. Should they be boycotting things? Is there money they can donate? What sources can they donate to? Are there bills they should be voting on? Organization is about setting forth those goals and making them clear and having them accessible to people who are already on your side and people who aren't. Longevity. Will this last longer than just how long people are willing to take off work and fight in the streets? Will this last longer than the weekend? Disruption. When you have a march that is just from point A to point B that you got a permit for, that disrupts nobody's lives besides the people who wanted to drive down that street. You have to disrupt the lives of the people in power. Expectation. This goes hand in hand with longevity. There needs to be a clear end goal expectation. That might take years to achieve, but there should be smaller achievements along the way to keep the momentum going and have clear expectations for everyone who signs on to this. And documentation. The media will not give you fair coverage. You have to get the fair coverage yourself. You have to put forth the stories while protecting the safety of protesters by
Hi, so my English is not so good, but I try to pronounce this word, okay? Maybe a little accent, okay. A corrupt country where the ruling party denies human-made climate change, where half of its military spendings are not spent on the military, but on outsourced services, pretty much being corporate welfare on a cosmic scale. Not only is this country run by a Cheeto who got filthy rich via tax loopholes, it is a hotspot for systemic racism. Thank you!
It's me! Hi, Mom! Hey, girl! Hey, Mom! Hey, yo, this is my mom! Hey, Mom! Hey, Mom! Bye, Mom! Love you! Come on, youth! We see you, kids! They started shooting at us! You can see we've just been walking. They formed this little area over here. We haven't been brutalizing anything. Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Please protect us. Please cover all the protesters. God, please don't let them start violence on us. Please don't let them start shooting at... No! Stop! Gosh, they're just shooting. They're just shooting at us! You're police officers! We gotta go. Come on. Come on.
I'm about to show you a video from a protest yesterday. If you see this and you still are confused on why people are protesting, rioting, showing signs of violence, actually burning stuff down, then you are part of the problem. Not saying I'm about to go riot, but if my brothers want to riot, I'm not mad at them, and I'm about to show you why I'm not.
Y'all talking about being, what about, I thought it was a peaceful protest. I thought y'all worried about a peaceful protest.
Two people were in the exact same place at the exact same time, doing the exact same thing, not committing a crime. One of them was pushed away and sent home. The other was arrested. If you want to go riot, I'm not mad at you. I'm not.
I need y'all to share, copy, link this, share other this, whatever it is you need to do, share this. This is Ayana Dior, a black trans woman from Minnesota. Yesterday, Ayana was beaten by around 30 people at a store in Minnesota. This is not the first time something like this has happened. There are multiple cases of assault, harassment, and even murder against trans women, especially black trans women. Not only are we fighting for Black Lives Matter, but we are fighting for trans rights and LGBT rights. And this administration that we are currently under is not making any of it easy. It is 2020. It is high time people are allowed to be themselves without having to fear for their lives.
Okay, wait, don't scroll. Stay with me for a second. So a lot of you have probably heard about the economic blackout that's supposed to be happening July 4th through 7th, right? Here's my suggestion. Let's kick off the economic blackout with nationwide protests on the 4th of July. The 4th of July is supposed to be about independence, right? So what better way to celebrate 4th of July than to enact our First Amendment right and go protest for independence and liberation? And then once that's done, we have like a 3-day long economic blackout. I'm just saying, the symbolism of having a protest nationwide on the 4th of July? I mean, at this point, all 50 states have already protested, so we know it's possible. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to watch this post all the way through to the end. I need you to like the post, and then I need you to start tagging people in it. Like, if you know someone who organized a protest, then tag them. Send this to people who organize protests. Get the word out. Let's do this thing.
A lot of people are saying that this filter makes your voice sound like the voicemail at the beginning of a mixtape, and I agree, but it's not what I heard when I first listened to it. America in crisis. Aided by corrupt leadership and widespread misinformation, a deadly pandemic ravages the nation. Meanwhile, on the West Coast, scientists push back against the threat of murderous hornets.
I don't see anyone talking about this, so that's a sign that I should. Last night, a man named Justin Howell was shot in the back of the head by police for allegedly throwing a water bottle at them. He wasn't even the one that threw it. Police shot less lethal rounds at the back of his head, causing him severe brain damage and a brain fracture. He is in very critical condition. Justin Howell was a political science major and may not ever be able to return to college to finish his degree. When medics were carrying him out of the protest, police fired more less lethal rounds at them and hit some of the medics carrying him. He was only 20 years old. Shooting rounds at medics is a war crime, and although we aren't at war, it should be even more of an issue that they were shooting them at civilians. If this story doesn't get you to believe that we need change, there's something genuinely wrong in your head. Black Lives Matter, ACAB.
So we're just ignoring reality if it fits our worldview. I wasn't aware that was an option. See, I've been gathering evidence and researching shit to form a nuanced opinion, but apparently we can just make shit up. I didn't know that. I mean, we've got indisputable video evidence of two guys chasing down an unarmed man, cornering him and murdering him in cold blood, but hey, let's still claim something else happened. Apparently, the fabric of reality itself has a liberal bias. Gotta watch out, the universe itself is funded by George Soros. It's biased. Why even stop there? Like, what's the point of even stopping there? Just say a unicorn killed him at this point. No, what you can't see in the video is he was actually driving Wonder Woman's invisible jet, which is obviously very threatening, so it was completely justified. Apparently, if enough Republicans clap their hands and believe hard enough, evidence will just magically disappear. And you have the fucking audacity to demand I reach across the aisle and compromise with you? Compromise on what? The basic ontological principles that govern existence? Fuck you!
Yo, guys, 2020 is scarring us so deep, mentally and emotionally, that we're picking up idiosyncrasies. We're about to be some weird-ass old people. Just picture your grandparents, but with like a deep-seated hatred for cops. It's a fuck 12! ACA me till I die! I'm excited. And we all know this guy. It's like, I've got enough venison jerky for 100 years in case the government ever wants to get out of pocket again. That's you. That's gonna be you. Where's Grandpa going? No, it's okay. He's quarantining. He picked it up in the race war.
You piggy, let us go outside, you unfair ukulele attack. Yeah. I understand, sir. I have white. Right. You know what? Put this in your mouth. Feel it. Feel the barrel of privilege. Yeah. Oh. Sir, get off me. Unhand my gun, hang on. All this protesting is making me thirsty. Oh, you want some water? Oh, could you? I got you. Here you go. Oh, Okay. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. You got some nerve.
One second, sir. What?
Hey, can you stop Could you just stop killing black people?
Tear gas! Tear gas!
Stop scrolling. This is really important, and I need you to share this with as many people as possible. We just found out within the last few hours that people in Columbus, Ohio were purposely being poisoned with antifreeze. Someone donated contaminated water to the protesters. This is the Central Ohio Street Medic Collective. These were people at the protests. So I'll let you pause so you can read the post. Luckily, it looks like they caught it early. Only one person had to actually be hospitalized for this, but a bunch of people got sick. Someone was literally out here trying to kill protesters simply because they were protesting the unjust death of Black people in America. This is why we say Black Lives Matter. And while the president still continues to stoke this violence against these protesters, this is the outcome. This right here.
Well, goddamn it, Tommy, where would you like me to go? Would you like me to pull up my heritage that was stolen by my oppressors? Would you like me to speak the language that was stolen by my oppressors? Would you like me to fall back on the culture that was stolen by my oppressors? Would you like me to return to the homeland that I was stolen from? Would you like that? Guess what? I don't have the ability to know. Because unlike you, I can't take a DNA swab test and find out exactly where I came from. I'm 3 generations removed from slavery. Yes, my great-grandmother was a goddamn slave. And for all you people who want to be like, oh, Black people weren't stolen, Africans sold Africans to white people. You seem to forget what white people did to the Native Americans. You seem to forget that white people turned gunpowder into a weapon of mass destruction when the Chinese only used it for fireworks. You seem to forget. You seem to forget that they colonized and raped and pillaged a whole fucking country. And no, Tommy, I don't hate America. How could I hate something my people built?
This wasn't the apocalypse you were expecting, right? You were expecting the Book of Eli. You were expecting the I Am Legends. You were expecting World War Z, the book. You were expecting The Walking Dead. You were expecting the Umbrella Corporation. You were expecting to carry your guns, deal with lawlessness, and be the hero of whatever fucking story you told in your head. That's the apocalypse you were expecting. But that's not the apocalypse that we're dealing with. We're actually dealing with the revolution that is now, quote unquote, televised. Because even though they said, the revolution won't be televised, it is. Because we have these beautiful little $1,000 pieces of equipment in our hands that we film shit every day. We are watching as a country now has to figure out how to reform itself without killing itself. And I'm hoping that it makes the right choice.
There's been a lot of comparisons recently between Donald Trump and Adolf Hitler, which are being rightfully made because Trump literally threatened to declare martial law, which would effectively limit your civil liberties and give total power over more than 330 million people to one sociopath, stripping power from the legislative and judicial branches of government. And I just wanted to remind everyone that when shit hit the fan, Hitler killed himself and left the SS behind to be charged with war crimes. So let's entertain this idea for a little bit that our president, who is very clearly acting extremely similarly, if not identically, to a known dictator who has a group of people whom he uses as scapegoats locked up in detention centers where they're currently being poisoned with chemicals, and who is completely unconcerned with the growing social unrest within the country and is only concerned with self-preservation, killing himself and leaving his police force to deal with the aftermath. The entire world already decided during the Nuremberg trials that just because you were given orders to follow that were morally wrong doesn't mean you're not responsible for what you did. So, to all of my cops and National Guard members out there, before it's too late for you guys, who's the real enemy you should be pointing your guns at?
So the White House put out a pretty powerful statement last night. I wanted to share some of it with you. What happened to George Floyd was not the result of a bad apple. It was a predictable consequence of a racist and prejudiced system. And I'm sorry, I made a mistake. This isn't from the White House. It's from Ben & Jerry's! You know shit is bad when an ice cream company cares more about affecting positive change than the president.
Yo, I don't know what black person needs to hear this today, but it is not, nor has it ever been, your responsibility to teach or convince white people that your life matters. If hearing your story and seeing what's going on in this world around us every day is not enough for them to get with it, sis, let them kick rocks. Because being a compassionate and loving person and protecting your energy are not mutually exclusive, especially when protecting your energy from people who are committed to misunderstanding you for their own comfort. The people who actually care about you will do the work it takes to show you they believe your life matters. They will do the work it takes to dismantle systems that say otherwise. It is not your job to babysit them through it. The only job you got is to teach them that you will not sacrifice your well-being for their comfort. And that, my friends, is on period.
TikTok, our president, Donald Trump, has just announced that he's going to go against governor's orders if they choose not to use the National Guard and enforce the army, going against the balance of power in our constitutional right to assembly. This is illegal. And I watched the live for the DC protest, and they were peaceful. And then they started shooting tear gas, and they started shooting rubber pellets. Minutes before Donald Trump spoke. Take that in. Comment for the algorithm. Do your thing, because I'm not trying to get shadow banned. I need people to hear this. This is illegal.
An update for anyone keeping an eye on the Kansas City protests, June 2nd, 2020. As of this morning, there is absolute radio silence from all news broadcasters. They have not said anything about the protest arrests last night, nothing about the medical tent being stormed. We have video documentation that has been sent to media. That media is also silent. All of the medics did make it out all right. From what we understand, the protest leader was arrested 20 minutes roughly after Mayor Lucas left the protest. It is highly theorized that Mayor Lucas was used as bait to get the protesters to be there past a curfew, despite the fact that he on video said there would be no curfew. Please believe your protesters. Nothing is being reported. Stay vigilant. Thank you.
This is my experience of the New York City protests the last few days and what the news does not want you to know. They're not showing that cops become violent before protesters. Many news outlets are trying to gaslight these protests as riots.
Dismiss the fact that what is happening is because of a broken system built on oppression.
And dismissing that it is a constitutional right to protest. When I was assaulted by police, it was because they're trying to get to people of color behind me. Bridget showcases what she's able to do with her privileges, tantalizing police,
using her skin as a shield to help move protests against the pigs.
I'm not going to downplay the inhumane behavior I saw by the NYPD. They called peaceful protests unlawful assembly before it got violent. And the inhumane way of tackling people to arrest people has not been seen on any news outlet.
The majority of protests are peaceful, and all the violence is started by the police, but why isn't this shown on TV?
A lot of ways that we could kind of use our voice, and if you don't use it, that's silence, and that silence is violence.
Man, can you pick out the man that robbed you? Number two.
Y'all know that's up, right?
Sir, can you pick out the man that embezzled hundreds of millions of dollars from the American economy and then made you pay for it?
You mean after systematically devaluing my education and relegating me to certain neighborhoods, whereas I couldn't actually pursue the education that would enable me to rise to meet a certain fiscal stature in this country?
And also preventing you from making any loans for homes or jobs or businesses or getting a car lease.
So I must not have said it clearly enough for you the first time, so please listen up. You cannot
be a supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement and be homophobic. It's point blank, period. The Black Lives Matter movement was made for all black lives. So therefore, you cannot say that you support all black lives, but not the gay ones, not the trans ones, not the bi ones, not the pansexual ones. That's not how this works. So say it with your fucking chest. Say that you are a bigot and say, I only support lives if they are cis and straight. And baby girl, I would not be screaming to the rooftops that you're homophobic. That shit's disgusting and embarrassing and it makes you look stupid and idiotic. So I said what the fuck I said. You cannot be a supporter of Black Lives Matter and be homophobic. I will not say it again. I'm pretty sure I made myself fucking clear.
Hi, please don't scroll and copy, link, share, whatever the fuck you do to get this to as many people as possible, because they are misreporting the Atlanta riots right now. You may have seen this picture right here where it shows people vandalizing and throwing firecrackers into the CNN Center. It's not for no reason. Many news organizations, including CNN, are trying to say that these riots are senseless and oh my gosh, they're attacking a leftist and liberal news organization, when no, that's literally not the case. They're attacking the police station that is inside of the CNN Center in Atlanta. Don't believe me? Here's proof. There you go. It says right there, Atlanta Police Department CNN Center Precinct. They're trying to make it seem like we're just attacking the CNN Center for no reason. It's not for no reason. It's not senseless like you try and make it out to be. Fuck the police.
Black neighborhoods are over-policed, so of course they have higher rates of crime. And white perpetrators are undercharged, so of course they have lower rates of crime. And all of those stupid stats you keep using are operating off a small sample size. So shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Fuck. God damn it. Shit on a stick. Motherfuck. No. Done. Canceled. I'm leaving.
So fucking pissed. I was on live for 4 minutes, and then I said I don't like Trump. As soon as the went out of my mouth, TikTok kicked me off my fucking live and said, you are banned from going live. Not even restricted. Banned. Banned. This is not right. This is not fucking right. I will continue using my voice until I fucking die. So if y'all want to ban me, ban me. But if y'all think this shit is going unheard, bitch, you mess with the wrong fucking bitch.
Okay, so I'm super upset over here because something just don't make sense to me. It just don't click to me. So somebody help it make sense for me. Make it make sense. So once upon a time, I was in the Army. When I was in the Army, I was deployed. I remember when we were deployed, they gave us these rules called escalation of force. It's literally told us, you escalate force by using these steps. If this happens, then you do this. If this happens, then you do this. You shoot a warning shot if this happens. You shoot a lethal shot if and only if this happens. And if you don't follow these rules, you are going to be in trouble. These rules were so serious. They had us fold them on a piece of paper and put them down and have it in our pockets at all times. That's how serious they were, okay? We were at war. We were at literal fucking war. Why is it that those same standards and practices cannot be done here with the cops who are here to protect and serve us? I really and genuinely don't understand that. How is your life in such danger with people you're supposed to be protecting and serving? Somebody make it make sense.
I've been seeing a lot of discussion on this app about the acronym ACAB and how it stands for all cops are bad. But no. All cops are bastards. It would be too simple to say that all cops are bad. And it's usually with this misinterpretation that the argument arises that, oh, not all cops are bad. Oh, yeah. Obviously not all cops are bad, but they are all bastards. At first glance, you're probably thinking that we mean bastard by an unpleasant or despicable person. But that's not what we're saying. At least that's not what I'm saying. When I say bastard, I'm taking it from the word bastardize, meaning to corrupt or debase. Cops are inherently corrupted in two ways. The first is that they are corrupted by their positions of power, that they can use their authority to inflict violence on people. The second and the most important reason on why all cops are bastards is because the very laws that they are trying to enforce are corrupt. and are used to subdue different minorities and identities. So, cops can be corrupted by their power, cops are corrupted by the laws they enforce, all cops are corrupted, all cops are bastards.
I can't breathe. Why you following me? Please don't let me die. It's not real. Why'd you shoot me? I did nothing. Oh, officer, please. I can't breathe. Put your right hand over your bullet wound and never trust the boys in blue. There won't be prison till we can change the rules. Oh, I pledge allegiance to the flag of races, hiding with the badge. Are we living in the present or the past?
Not listening to Black people who have been yelling about this for decades and centuries. Hi, Chief Moore. I'm talking specifically to you, but I'm directing my comments towards the commission as well. I would normally start by saying all due respect, but respect is something that's not given, it's earned. We pay your officers to respect the community, but they need to earn that respect in return. You've sat here with your mask on, fiddling around on your desk, and you ask for respect? Your words ring hollow. Actions speak 10 times louder, and your actions were to shoot innocent, peaceful protesters who were exercising their First Amendment right to free speech and peaceable assembly with rubber bullets, which are metal bullets coated in rubber and can kill a human being at close range, and tear gas, and as well attack them with batons. And you think that's okay? The narrative is that police are allowed to act this way when they get scared. If you scare so easily, why are you police?
Fading it out, we letting the scouts outside, we running the scouts. Nigga, the cops outside, lock up the house.
So it's been a crazy, not even 12 hours. I made a cute post just, asking to defund the police and end systemic violence. And then that post got removed for hate speech. So once again, typical Instagram, I've had this happen before. I was just like, fuck it, I'll make a story post telling people, like, this is what happened to that post, feel free to share. And I woke up this morning and that post had over 20,000 views. And my new censored post had been shared over 14,000 times. And something that hasn't happened since my account got deleted, they actually put the post back up. So obviously enough people added at Instagram that they actually did something. What?